Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome back to another episode. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football, TITTH number 26. Welcome back. Appreciate you stopping in on this Thanksgiving if you're spending some time with me here. We got a 3-game slate on the board today. Looking forward to some close and tight matchups. Not looking for a ton of scoring here, but I think we can take advantage of some opportunities today in fantasy and maybe in some betting as well. First game on the board, we got the Chicago Bears going to the Detroit Lions. Lions are not looking so good this week. They have Jeff Driscoll out now after Matthew Stafford already out of the lineup, out for several games, of course. David Blow coming in, third string quarterback. Not expecting too much from the Detroit Lions offense, so I do see a lot of the Bears in some more slower, grinded out type of football after they go up by maybe a couple scores. I like the Bears in this one. Money line and the over-under is 37, so I'm taking the under there. I like the Bears, maybe like a 24-10 or 21-10. I'm not even sure the Lions can even get to touchdown, really. Third string quarterback not doing too much for me, not exciting me about too many of the Lions pieces here. Looking at the Bears, Mitch Trubisky, I think you can start him this week. I think he's going to be serviceable, could get you a couple of touchdowns, whether it's one rushing and one passing or two passing. I do think he gets a couple of touchdowns this week. Just really have to try to avoid that, that pesky interception or a fumble or something like that. This is a good spot for him to, kind of get rolling here. The Bears need to get some momentum here to build up a run for the end of the season. So this is a good spot for, not calling it practice for the Bears, but I mean the Lions defense has just been pitiful in recent weeks, and pretty consistently this season. You can run on them, you can pass on them. So I like the upside for Mitch Trubisky this week. I like him to grab a couple of touchdowns and stays mistake free, no interception, no fumble. Running backs, I like David Montgomery. I like Tariq Cohen in this matchup. Taylor Gabriel is going to be out this week, so I think that lends a little bit more upside for guys like Tariq Cohen, Anthony Miller. I think both of those guys will be in the game plan pretty steadily this week. So I like both running backs in David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. With the receivers, pretty much just Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller, like I just mentioned. Anthony Miller has 6 catches in his past 2 games, getting a bountiful amount of targets. Taylor Gabriel's out. Both of the tight ends are out. They really don't have anybody other than was it JP Holtz? Yeah, Ben Broniker's out now too. When I said both tight ends, I was referring to Shaheen and Burton, but Broniker's out now as well. So yeah, I think Montgomery, Cohen, Robinson, and Miller, they all have a fair amount of upside here in a good matchup against this bad Detroit Lions defense. For the Lions, really just want Bo Scarborough, and that's pretty much it. I think you have to take Kenny Golladay out of your lineups this week. I'm certainly not telling you to go out there and start David Blow. Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, their upsides straight down. I think Bo Scarborough gets a good amount of usage, maybe catching some balls out of the backfield, helping pick up some blitzes, really trying to protect the new quarterback back there. So I think he does still have some value this week. Obviously, running backs in recent weeks have been able to run on the Bears, so there's still plenty of upside for him there. And I think you can, start him in a flex capacity. TJ Hawkinson's going to be out of this game, or not out, I'm sorry, he's questionable. So not interested in any of the receivers regardless. I think you got to take Kenny Golladay out of your lineup. Find somebody else with a little bit more upside this week. These receivers, I think you got to fade them. Give me Bo Scarborough, and that's it. Like I said, the over-under for that game was 37. I want to take the Bears on the win and under 37 game total points. Okay, next up we have the Buffalo Bills traveling to Dallas. Really like the Bills in this one. I think they're going to keep this one close. Defense is going to be really sharp up against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to say to probably fade Dak Prescott this week. So I like the Bills a lot in this one. I like them at plus 6.5. I think the game total is going to go under. You're looking at 47 game total points. I like the under there. Fantasy-wise for the Bills, I really like Josh Allen. I think he'll at least throw 2 touchdowns, somewhere around 200 passing yards. Maybe add another 40 to 50 yards rushing on the ground. I think he'll mix in some rushing attack as well. I do think the Dallas Cowboys will try to bring a lot of pressure on him. So I look for Allen to get some rushing yards this week. Running backs, give me Devin Singletary, Frank Gore. Frank Gore, the upside just hasn't been there. Like I said in previous videos, every week I want to send him out there. Every time I'm expecting something out of him, I'm getting nothing. So fading him until I get some big production otherwise, or we see like a Devin Singletary injury or something like that. Fire up Devin Singletary. I think he'll get at least 3 to 4 catches out of the backfield, somewhere between 75 to 90 all-purpose yards. I think he's going to be pretty active in this matchup here. John Brown, starting him every week. Cole Beasley. Everybody's been talking this week about, you got to have Cole Beasley. He should be owned everywhere. It's like, I've had him for a good while, and he goes up, he goes down, he goes up, he goes down, he goes up for big weeks. He has some bad weeks as well. I think this week will be a good week for him. I like Beasley going back to Dallas. I like John Brown a lot. So just give me Devin Singletary, John Brown, Cole Beasley there. No tight ends, no Dawson Knox, no Tyler Kroft, and fire up Josh Allen in this one. Like I said, I think he grabs at least 2 touchdowns and good amount of rushing yards as well, 40 to 50 rushing yards. For the Cowboys, I'm going to fade Dak Prescott. Sorry. For the Cowboys, I'm going to fade Dak Prescott. Don't like him up against this really strong secondary defense for the Buffalo Bills. Last week, the same thing. Wanted to fade him against the Patriots. It was a good call, so I'm gonna stick with it this week. When they're playing these really solid defenses, Dak is just going to be limited in his upside. They're going to try to lean on Zeke Elliott, lean on the run, try to protect Dak and really utilize their strength through the offensive line. So I think it just limits his upside again this week. So I think for him to have a big week, he's going to have to get a rushing touchdown. I think he does get 1 passing touchdown, probably 1 interception, and if he can top it off with a rushing touchdown and maybe get some decent yardage, he could be serviceable. But I'm not betting on that. I'm going to say to bench him this week. Give me all of Zeke Elliott, and I think, again, the receivers from same situation as last week up against the Patriots. Give me Zeke and all the receivers. I know Amari Cooper didn't do anything last week up against the Patriots. I think this is a little bit of a different situation. The Bills secondary is strong, but I think there will still be opportunity for Amari Cooper to be fantasy relevant this week, and any one of them could come down with that lone touchdown. Randall Cobb has been strong in recent weeks, right? So you want to keep him rolling. Same thing with Michael Gallup. I think he's got a little bit of a better opportunity this week playing behind Amari Cooper. So like him a lot. Going to go ahead and bench Jason Witten. Keep him there. Not as much upside here up against this strong defense. If he's getting catches, he's not going to get any yards after catch, and he's going to be touchdown dependent. So yeah, not a ton of upside for him this week. So give me Zeke, give me Cooper, give me Gallup, give me Randall Cobb. And then, in the third matchup, and this is pretty much it here, New Orleans and the Falcons. And this one, I actually like the Falcons to cover. Big question mark was going to be if Julio Jones was going to play. It does look like he's going to play tonight. And then in comparison to, or conversely for the Saints, Marshawn Lattimore, if he was going to play, and it looks like he is also trending to playing tonight. So with both of those guys in, I see a really good spot for a rematch from a couple of weeks ago. I like the Falcons to cover in this one at 6.5 points. As far as the point total, I'm still going to go with the under just based on it being a short week. I think there is going to be maybe like a 24-21 type of game, 24-17 or something like that. I think just basing it on a short week, they've played each other. They've gotten really good looks at each other's defenses and their reads on offense. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a tighter matchup than last time. So give me the under 48.5 points here, and the Falcons cover at 6.5. For the Saints, fire up Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara for sure. Both of those guys are going to be big hitters, I think, this week. I think you can go ahead and bench Latavius Murray. He had a decent role last week, but I think it's going to be a little bit more of Alvin Kamara this week. And I think they rested him in this last game specifically because of this. They needed to come in and win this game on the road, and they're going to lean on him more this week. So definitely fire up Alvin Kamara with confidence. And I'm going to say to fade Latavius Murray this week. Michael Thomas, absolutely firing him up. Jared Cook as well. But I'm not going to dip into Ted Ginn or Traquan Smith territory. It's just a little bit too risky for me. They've been pretty volatile. A couple weeks ago, Ted Ginn scored a touchdown on 2 catches. Last week, he had 2 catches, no touchdown. Not sure if I want to tell you to bet on it this week. So I'm going to go ahead and say to keep Ted Ginn and Traquan Smith on your bench. Fire up Jared Cook, fire up Mike Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Drew Brees. Just throw out the big hitters here. I've said it once, say it again. It's a short week. You really only want to put out these guys that are going to have really high ceilings, because you have these other guys coming up on Sunday that have really good matchups. There's going to be some close matchups this week, but also a lot of opportunities remaining on the card. So you don't want to get too caught up here on Thursday. Watching all your players on Thanksgiving, relaxing. Picking out, eating turkey and relaxing, and I get to see all my fantasy players. I only say to throw out the big hitters today. Don't get too cute with it. Don't go too deep. So big notion with that with the New Orleans Saints offense. Brees, Kamara, Thomas, Jared Cook. Just roll those guys out. Don't get too cute with it. And then lastly, with the Atlanta Falcons, fire up Matt Ryan. Devontae Freeman's back this week. I think you can fire him up as well. Still going to be a decent amount of upside here. They showed that they can beat up their secondary and beat up their defense. They're playing at home this go around, so Julio Jones is going to be good to go. It looks like he's going to be healthy. So I like Julio. I like Calvin Ridley. I like Russell Gage. He's been active in the offense in recent weeks. I would like to see Julio come down with a touchdown. The teams where I have Julio, I am not in fantasy contention for playoffs or anything, but I just want to see him, just do well. I mean, Jesus, not the year that I was expecting out of Julio. I'm sure most of you will agree with that. So yeah, would like to see him have some success here down the stretch. Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage in really good spots to have a really good day, I think. Devontae Freeman's coming back. Coaching staff is saying that he looks really good, that he should be ready to go, lead back, RB1 type of workload. So I guess I just fire him up if I have him. If you're deep into the year here and you need a deep running back piece, you've been hanging on to him, and now's the time to start him. Trying to fight for a playoff spot or secure a bye or whatever you're trying to do. So yeah, Matt Ryan, Freeman, Julio Jones, all the receivers there, Jones, Ridley, Gage, Hooper's out, so lends a little bit more upside to them, and no Brian Hill. I'm going to say to keep Brian Hill back onto the bench with Devontae Freeman back. Even if it is an even split, I like Devontae Freeman more to get a touchdown, catch a couple of more balls. If Brian Hill comes in, he might vulture a touchdown, but I don't think he's going to have a big day or significant amount of volume. I think they're going to get Devontae Freeman rolling here, as he's back healthy and ready to go. So I'm going to get to it. It's my Thanksgiving as well, so I'm going to go enjoy myself, enjoy my day off. Hope you guys do the same. Hopefully you found some value here. On that last one, I had the Atlanta Falcons covering 6.5 and the under 48.5 points. So go get you guys some value. Go get your bets in if you're going to do some gambling today. Enjoy yourselves. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy all your food, time with friends, family, whatever it is. Take care. Be well. I'll see you guys on Sunday. I'll be doing the live show for the Week 13 preview. So I'll see you guys then. Take care. Be well. Take it to the hizzy. I'll see you guys.